Hello. So in this video, I'm going to try to explain the general definition of socialism and what it is. It's basically public ownership of means of certain types of production. Yeah, I'll pull up the more in-depth version of it. A political and economic theory of social organization that advocates the means of production, distribution, and exchange should be owned or regulated by the community as a whole. And that sums the general broad definition up, but it is a broad definition because there are many different types of socialism. There's libertarian socialism, there's utopian socialism, there's eco-socialism, market socialism, authoritarian, democratic socialism, that's what I am, and then socialist democracy, which is similar but not the exact same. And there's communism, but that's not exactly the same thing. It's more of an extreme version of it, and I'll be talking about communism in another video. So that's basically it. Like, it's really, they vary between each other so much, like authoritarian socialism and libertarian socialism. You know, that's just almost polar opposites in terms of the way society would look like. So it's very broad and it can cover a lot of things, but there's countries that have practiced certain types of socialism, and some have been shown to work really well, and then some have been shown not to work well at all. Countries that have not done well with it are countries like the Soviet Union. A lot of people say that they're communists. Well, they weren't really. They were an authoritarian socialist country. If they were communists, there would not even be currency or government. Eventually, they go through that socialist transition, but eventually there is no government or currency. It's complicated, and I'll go into that in another video. But yeah, they practiced authoritarian socialism, did not end up well for them. Same with Cuba and China. China's still kind of there, but not completely anymore. And Vietnam is currently communist, or, you know, they call themselves communists, even though they're authoritarian socialists. There really hasn't been any communism practiced before, but again, I will go over that. And I don't support communism in any way, but it's really never been truly attempted, or at least not practiced in a country before. Then there's democratic socialism. That's a really popular one, and that's practiced in Northern Europe. I think is the best example of the wonders it can do. Scandinavia and the Netherlands, and that is where it shows to work really well, and that is the kind of socialism that I support and that I really think that any country could benefit, because it's not authoritarian, obviously. The standards of living are really high, and everybody just prospers together in those countries. They're rated to be some of the happiest countries in the world, and then China's like the least happy for obvious reasons. So that goes to show that it really does work the way they're doing it. I heard that one of the Scandinavian countries was running out of garbage. I think that was Sweden. I think they're using it as fuel or something. I'm gonna have to look into that, and I'll talk about that later. And that they're closing down prisons in the Netherlands because their criminal justice system, they don't lock people behind bars constantly like the United States does. The United States puts more people behind bars than in any other country. So it goes to show that prison is not the only solution to criminal punishment, and the democratic socialism shows that very well. Even Canada is somewhat democratic socialist, and they show a higher standard of living than the United States. So those are the wonders that democratic socialism can do. And then, of course, authoritarian is really bad, to put it simply. You'll also hear of something called national socialism, which isn't socialism at all. It's just, it's Nazism. It's Nazis. about as far right-winged as you can get, and socialism is something that's left-winged. So, yeah, I think that's about it. I'm I'm still in my early stage of this channel, so I'm really not the most comfortable making videos. I know I'm kind of stuttering. I'm sorry about that. I'll get better in the future. But I hope this video was adequate. I hope it was decent enough to explain exactly what it is. And I'll get more in depth about each, well, I don't know about each type of socialism, but I might. I'm going to be, for my earlier videos here, I'm going to be talking about different kinds of governments and comparing them with socialism. But this, I was just trying to tell you what socialism is. You could do a lot more research on it. It could explain it a lot more than I just did. And as I said, it's a very broad definition. It can explain a lot of different types of governments and economies. Socialism is more referred to as an economy and not a government. So, I think that is about it for this video. And next video, I will, like I think I just said, be talking about a different government ideology. I might talk about communism and just explain how it's not the same. I think I probably just went over that a little bit in this video, but I'm going to go more in depth about it. And so yeah, I think that's about it. And thank you for bearing with me. I'm bad right now, but I'm going to get better at this channel. So thanks for listening, and see you in my next video.